Good afternoon, everybody. I'm David Moore, the Executive Director for the Historic Oakland Foundation, and it is my privilege to welcome you here today to what is the Beaumont Allen Greenhouse Dedication Ceremony. This is indeed a historic and joyous occasion. It is a historic occasion because the walls which once wrapped Oakland's last greenhouse have been waiting for over 100 years to be revitalized. The acquisition of the Buckhead Men's Garden Club greenhouse has provided the opportunity for us to focus much needed preservation efforts on the greenhouse and the adjacent coal house. It will provide a functional space for our landscape and our hardscape restoration efforts. It'll provide a horticultural learning lab for our school groups and a space from which the history of this site can be explored and interpreted through signage, print materials, and tours. It's just an awesome, awesome asset to these 48 acres. You probably have seen in the news and heard of this miracle that happened through a circle of philanthropy that started with a gift to the History Center, which resulted in the moving of the cyclorama, which resulted in the moving of this greenhouse to our campus. Kudos to Carol and Bill Simpson. Bill is a member of the Buckhead Men's Garden Club, and when I can imagine when he came home that night realizing the cyclorama was going to land like the Wicked Witch of the West on top of his greenhouse, that he wasn't going to have one anymore. But Carol and Bill said, well, you know, maybe Oakland could use one. Wonder if it fits. Well, it fits. It fits perfectly. Thank you, guys. This is a joyous occasion because we are naming the greenhouse in honor of Beaumont Allen, whose love for Oakland Cemetery and her gardens was demonstrated through his years of leadership and service to this organization. Many of you knew Beau as a preservation partner, a civic leader, and a personal friend, and you'll hear more about Beau later in this program. It is also a joyous occasion because you helped us make all this possible through your direct grants, gifts, and other forms of support to the project, or through your gifts in memory of Beau, which have been restricted to this greenhouse allocation relocation effort. And thank you, Alan Elsis, for making that grand suggestion that that money go to this effort in memory of Beau. It was truly a community effort. Friends and supporters of the cemetery, neighborhood stakeholders and residents, the City of Atlanta, the Urban Design Commission, and those who simply loved our friend Beau Allen. So to you, we all say thank you. And with that, I would like to introduce Amy Fong, the Commissioner of Parks for the City of Atlanta, to make some remarks. Amy?
Thank you, David, for the kind words. Good afternoon. It's a very exciting day to be here and joining here with you. As Commissioner of Parks and Recreation, I want to first take a point of personal privilege and recognize my predecessor, who's also a member of your board on the Historic Oakland Cemetery Foundation board, George Duesenberry, who's here with us joining and who's left the department in transition in good hands. Oh, do I have to start over? Can you hear me? Yep. I was basically acknowledging that my predecessor is here today, George Duesenberry, who's also a board member of the Historic Oakland Cemetery Foundation. I guess he can't take enough of green space, and so it continues to do good civic efforts in the green space world. I also want to recognize the Director of Parks, Doug Voss, who's here, as well as Mr. Sam Reed, who's our sexton, who's here on site every day at Historic Oakland Cemetery. But you know, today is a great day. On behalf of Mayor Kasim Reed, who is traveling on a global summit, who's talking about with other global leaders about the importance of infrastructure, which I think is very timely for today's glorious celebration and dedication of our new greenhouse, because when the city continues to grow and become stronger, we are proud to be a great partner to the Historic Oakland Cemetery Foundation. Without great public-private partnerships, we could not do this by ourselves. We could not do and help and really maintain this cemetery, which is actually why we were chartered as a department to begin with. It was to maintain Historic Oakland Cemetery. And so I think the infrastructure is extremely important, and we look to doing many more. We've helped to invest over the last year in the electricity, helping with the gas, as well as the pavers, as part of our contribution for today's dedication. And so I think again, as the city continues to be stronger, we look to be a great partner and look to leverage our support in ensuring that this is enjoyed, this greenhouse today, on behalf of Mayor Ivan Allen's son, named in the honor of Bo, that will continue to be enjoyed by many generations for years to come. And with that, I just thank each and every one of you. This crowd is a testament of how important this asset is and how important this park amenity is for the city and the citizens of Atlanta. Thank you very much.
Now, honored to welcome to the podium our Councilwoman, Madeline Archibong. Natalyn.
It is my honor and privilege to be here today. You're standing in District 5. Many of my constituents are all around here, and I appreciate them. And I appreciate you for your support of the foundation and for this wonderful occasion that we have today. As an elected official, one of the privileges that I have is to introduce legislation and to champion legislation. And so I put forward legislation asking that the greenhouse be named in honor of Mr. Allen. And I'm happy to say that yesterday, I don't know if you know this, David, the NPU voted unanimously to endorse that. And so we're well on our way, and I'm so excited about that. So thank you for having me, and I just look forward to having this glorious greenhouse. So thank you so much.
And now I'd like to welcome to the podium Richard Dunville, and who's president of the Buckhead Men's Garden Club, who basically gave us this building. Richard?
Thank you again for coming out. I have to say, in preparing for these remarks, I was really fascinated myself with how much the history of our club and the history of the Allen family has crossed paths throughout history. The Buckhead Men's Garden Club was founded in 1960. At the time, we had several hundred members, and we were primarily a social club. We didn't first have a greenhouse. The first greenhouse that we used was on the grounds of what is now the History Center, and formerly a private house. It was a small greenhouse that the family used privately, and Bo himself lived in that house and interacted with our members when we had our get-togethers there on Saturday mornings. And through the donation of one of our members, we were able to secure a larger greenhouse on the grounds of the Lovett School. And that was not only a larger greenhouse, but it also had some outdoor space with gardens. And we had enjoyed our time there at Lovett School, but when they needed that land for what is now the stadium, we had to find another location. Now, our lease stipulated that we be reimbursed for any improvements, and so we left Lovett not only with a mass of folks who were interested in greenhouse work, but also with funds to search for a new home. And it was through our long-term member, Henry Grady, that we found out that Emory was planning to demolish a greenhouse to build what is now the parking deck behind the Rollins School of Public Health by CDC. And although we didn't have enough money to move the greenhouse and purchase land, we went ahead and said we'd take it, and we put it in storage for several years. And it was actually through Bo's mother, Louise, who was on the board of the Atlanta History Center, that we were able to secure the long-term lease that allowed us to move there in 1998. And part of that lease stipulated that we set aside some space in the greenhouse for the Atlanta History Center for their propagation and to start seedlings at the Tully Smith House and so forth. So you see that division that we have towards the back. The smaller space was allocated for the Atlanta History Center, and this side was our space. We used it not only to overwinter our plants. Jack had a lovely Meyer lemon. I hope it's doing well in its new home. I had some citrus myself and some jasmine plants, but we also used the space to propagate seedlings for our garden space outside the greenhouse and to support the operations of the greenhouse. And of course, we were saddened to learn that the cyclorama would be dumped on top of us and that the greenhouse would have to find a new home. We were very lucky that Oakland expressed an interest and early in the process. Incidentally, they were not the last of folks to express an interest. But I want to thank the Allen family for making it possible. This is by far a match that was meant to happen. And I know that for sure when we had that first meeting and the folks from Oakland were measuring things and looking to see how the greenhouse might fit, I saw the look on their faces when they realized it would fit right between there, and I knew it was definitely meant to be then. So I want to thank everyone for allowing this to happen and for this greenhouse to find now its third location in the Atlanta area.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Richard. And now, finally, I'd like to bring to the podium my very good friend, our very great friend, the wife of Bo Allen, Sally Allen, to say some remarks on behalf of her family. Sally?
Really?
Or just
Okay. All right. Well, this is such an exciting event for Oakland and for our family. So many of our friends generously donated to the foundation in Bo's memory, and he would absolutely love this idea. Because of these gifts and so many others, the foundation has been able to breathe new life into this historic place. This greenhouse is another step in the resurgence of Oakland as a living cemetery. I can't wait to see the fruits of this greenhouse. Bo was actually a gardener at heart. He marveled at the growth of a young seedling tree and took special pride as a tree farmer himself. To Bo, a field of young pine seedlings was a wonderful sight, and he loved witnessing their transformation into a forest. He inherited this gardening gene from his mother, Louise. I have piles of gardening gloves and tools to prove it. She and Bo would be so very grateful to the Buckhead Men's Garden Club and so very proud of the partnership between the Atlanta History Center and Oakland, whose missions are so similar: to preserve and share the stories and histories of our city and its families. Bo's only regret might be that John Deere doesn't make a tractor narrow enough for these aisles. I remember the telephone call from a dear family friend, Octavia Burney, who asked Bo to join the board here at Oakland. He loved history and genealogy, so there was no hesitation on his part. Since Oakland is one of the best repositories of Atlanta history, it was an opportunity he welcomed as a way to connect with this history and to contribute to its preservation. Over the years, he served as foundation chairman and then became a long-term fixture on the board of advisors. He brought leadership to the foundation, and he completely immersed himself in the mission here. By making a strong commitment to the organization, he was able to build and improve on the all-important relationship between the city and the foundation. As chairman, he began hosting a series of now appropriately named cultivation parties to bring people out here to learn the stories and to see the difference the foundation was making with its restoration efforts. He knew that once you were here, you would not only find a cemetery, but also a garden filled with impressive funerary art and architecture. All of the board members would invite a few of their friends to come out and enjoy a cocktail hour, followed by a preservation pep talk, always, and then different walking tours would be offered as the sun set on this beautiful park. The view of the cemetery and the skyline at dusk is quite memorable. This is how he wanted to grow this organization, one event at a time. Now there are events almost weekly, from special tours to festivals to educational classes. He would certainly hope that each of you will build on this event at Oakland by joining in the mission. Members of the Allen family have made many contributions to our city and to its historical and charitable institutions. Oakland is one place where Beau chose to leave his imprint. There are so many historical attractions here to draw visitors, and now we have another spectacular reason to visit. I can already picture the events that might take place here around the greenhouse. They'll probably string up some cafe lights and fire up some music. They might even revive the cultivation parties, perhaps with a new twist. There's just no telling what they'll come up with. Beau always felt connected to historical figures and to the history of Atlanta and the region. He gave his intellect, his passion, and his energy to help Oakland become a more inviting place for Atlantans and for visitors to the city. Now, he is resting beside his parents and other ancestors up on the hill, albeit just a little too soon. With the memorial dedication of this spectacular greenhouse, we are adding yet another memorable chapter to our family's growing story. Thanks to all of you.
Sally, thank you so very much for those heartfelt words. They were absolutely perfect. It is my distinct honor now to tie this ceremony up in a bow. No pun, well, pun intended. And when and really it's just another minute or two. And then I'd like to present a picture to Sally, a watercolor picture that was done by one of our volunteers, Chris Leinbach. So that'll be a photo opportunity. And then we're going to proceed over to where the beautiful plaque is for you to inspect it a little closer. And Sally will have a ribbon cutting, and everybody can go in and start to enjoy the food and enjoy the greenhouse. So with that having been said, let me just summarize kind of why we're standing here today, if I may. The Historic Oakland Foundation's mission is being fulfilled today. Through the addition of the Beaumont Allen Greenhouse, we will be better equipped to preserve, restore, enhance, and share these 48 acres of Atlanta's history. The preservation of our history is important work. Tennessee Williams said that the past is all we really know for sure. The past connects us to where we are today. Our memory of the past creates what historians and psychologists and philosophers call a sense of place. Oakland Cemetery holds for us this sense of place. Place and memory are of the essence. They ground us and connect us across the eons. And it is all of our duty to those who were here before us to identify and conserve our places of memory as best we can, to tell the stories about them, and to pass these stories on to the next generation. And that, in essence, is what we do here at Oakland and what we are celebrating today. Benjamin Franklin once said, "Show me your cemeteries and I'll tell you all you need to know about your people." Beau Allen knew that a beautiful and well cared for cemetery was a positive reflection on its community. A community that indeed cared about its people, cared about its heritage, and cared about its future. So I want you to join me today as we toast the future of Oakland and the future of this city through this incredible addition that we have here, thanks to so many of you standing here. And with that, thank you so very much. I'm moved. Thank you. And Sally, there's a painting here, and if there's a photographer, we're going to get a picture taken. And then y'all can come in and eat, drink, and have a big time. So on behalf of the foundation and all your friends, I do want to present to you this beautiful watercolor picture of the cemetery, of the greenhouse, done by Chris Leinbach.
Thank you, David.
Put that on your wall.
Thank you very much. Sorry to have the sunglasses on. See otherwise.
And now,
the ribbon cutting.
gather around, y'all.
Oh no, the gardening chair.
Oh, yeah. That's dangerous.
Don't cross me.
Mom, you gotta do it. Entree nous.